Legal. The information provided in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute professional financial, legal, or educational advice. Scholarship criteria, deadlines, and availability are subject to change without notice at the discretion of the awarding organizations. We are not affiliated with, endorsed by, or sponsored by any of the scholarship providers mentioned unless explicitly stated. Applying for scholarships does not provide an assurance of receiving funds, and historical trends of award distribution do not dictate future outcomes. Viewers are strongly encouraged to conduct their own due diligence, verify all information on official provider websites, and consult with a certified financial advisor or school guidance counselor before making significant financial decisions related to their education. Right now, there is a massive disconnect in the American education system that is costing the average student tens of thousands of dollars in unnecessary debt. You have been told your entire life that the only way to pay for a degree is through a combination of high-interest federal loans, soul-crushing private debt, or having wealthy parents who planned for your tuition since the day you were born. But here is the reality that the big lenders do not want you to internalize. Billions of dollars in private scholarship money go uncollected every single year simply because students believe the myth that you need a 4.0 GPA or a varsity captaincy to qualify. We are currently seeing a historical trend where niche organizations, family foundations, and corporate social responsibility programs are struggling to find enough applicants for their annual distributions. If you are sitting there with a 2.5 GPA, or if you think your hobbies are too weird to be marketable, you are actually in the prime position to capture funds that high achievers often overlook. By the end of this deep dive, you will understand the exact architecture of the easy scholarship ecosystem, how to bypass the hyper-competitive national pools, and how to build a high-volume application engine that treats your education like a funded startup rather than a debt sentence. The fundamental problem we are solving today is the effort-to-reward ratio. Most students spend 40 hours on a single application for a $20,000 scholarship that has 50,000 applicants. Mathematically, that is a losing game. We are shifting the strategy to high-probability, low-friction targets. This is about identifying the specific pockets of capital in the U.S. economy that are designated for students who simply show up and follow a specific set of instructions. This is the masterclass on how to stop being a debtor and start being a beneficiary of the massive, often hidden private grants available in the United States right now. To understand why this is possible, we have to look at the data regarding the rising cost of tuition versus the stagnation of traditional aid. According to historical trends over the last 3 decades, the cost of a 4-year degree has outpaced inflation by more than double. This has created a vacuum where middle-class families are too rich for significant federal Pell Grants but too poor to pay out of pocket. This middle-class trap is where the scholarships we are discussing today become a critical lifeline. These are not just checks. They are strategic financial instruments that allow you to graduate with a positive net worth. Let us look at a case study of a typical hidden scholarship structure. Many trade associations, such as those representing the concrete industry, the Horticultural Society, or even regional logistics groups, offer annual awards ranging from $500 to $5,000. Because these organizations are not sexy like NASA or Coca-Cola, their applicant pools are often in the low dozens. In some documented instances, certain regional chapters have reported receiving fewer applications than they have awards to give. This is the definition of easy. It is not that the money is free, it is that the competition is non-existent. We are going to break down the first category of these easy wins, the no-essay and micro-scholarship sector. While many critics call these lotteries, that is a fundamental misunderstanding of how corporate branding works. Companies like Niche, Bold.org, and CapEx utilize these awards as marketing expenses. For the student, the strategy is not to win one, it is to automate the application for 100. If you treat this as a data entry task rather than an academic challenge, the cumulative potential outcomes change drastically. Consider the Be Bold No Essay Scholarship. This is a recurring award that targets students based on the boldness of their profile. From a technical standpoint, this is an entry-level gateway. You aren't writing a 5,000-word thesis on Shakespeare. You are creating a digital footprint that signals to the provider that you are an active, engaged student. The barrier to entry is so low that the primary disqualifier is simply not clicking submit. We will look at how to optimize your digital profile to ensure these platforms' algorithms flag you as a high-intent candidate. Moving deeper into the strategy, we have to discuss the identity and hobby niche. In the US, there is a historical precedent for organizations to support very specific demographics. There are scholarships for left-handed people, for people of specific heights, and for descendants of specific historical groups. There are awards for being a duck caller, a sheep shearer, or a dedicated Minecraft player. Why do these exist? Because someone somewhere made a legal endowment in their will to ensure that their specific passion or trait was supported in the next generation. These are the easiest scholarships to get because they are self-limiting. If a scholarship is only for students who can prove they have a passion for vintage vacuum cleaner restoration, and you happen to be one of the 3 people in the country who fits that description, your probability of selection is mathematically near certain. Step by step, the first thing you need to do is an identity audit. You cannot find easy money if you do not know who you are in the eyes of a donor. You need to list every single characteristic about yourself. Your heritage, your parents' occupations, your medical history, your religious affiliation, your hobbies, and even your zip code. There are service area scholarships that are only available to students living in a specific county. If you live in a rural area of the Midwest or an underserved pocket of a major city, there are community foundations that are legally mandated to spend their interest income on students in your exact neighborhood. One of the most overlooked examples is the Utility Company Scholarship. Large regional providers of electricity and water often have massive community grant budgets. Because they are regulated monopolies, they often use these scholarships to maintain positive public relations with the local government. These are rarely advertised on major national databases like FastWeb. You have to go to the Community or Corporate Responsibility tab of your local utility provider's website. These are easy because the search cost is high, which keeps the applicant pool low. Another high-value, low-effort target is the Employer-Linked Scholarship. If you or your parents work for a major U.S. corporation like Starbucks, Walmart, or UPS, you are sitting on a goldmine of tuition reimbursement and internal grants. Historical trends show that these programs are often underutilized by frontline employees who assume they don't qualify because they aren't corporate managers. In reality, these programs are designed to increase retention among the general workforce. Case studies show that students who leverage the Starbucks Achievement Plan or similar programs can effectively reduce their tuition to zero at specific partner institutions. As we move through this list of 10, remember that the easy part isn't just about the work required. It is about the probability of conversion. A 100-word response for a local $500 prize is easier than a 2,000-word essay for a national $10,000 prize, even if the dollar amount is lower. This is because the local prize might have 3 applicants, giving you a 33% chance of success. The national prize might have 10,000 applicants, giving you a 0.01% chance. We are building a portfolio of high-probability wins that stack up to cover your entire cost of attendance. In the next sections, we are going to dive into the specific names, the specific links, and the specific application hacks that allow you to repurpose one piece of content for 20 different awards. We will talk about how to use historical trends to predict what donors want to hear, and how to present your potential outcomes as a student in a way that makes you the obvious choice for their investment. This is the end of the era of student debt. This is the beginning of your era as a funded scholar. We are going to start with scholarship number 1, which is currently open and has one of the highest acceptance rates in the regional U.S. circuit. Prepare your notes because we are going into the granular details that no guidance counselor has the time to tell you. We are starting with a heavy hitter that has become a staple of the American scholarship landscape: the niche $25,000 No Essay Scholarship. As of March 2026, this is one of the largest single disbursement awards in the private sector that requires zero academic writing. To understand the scale of this, you have to look at niche as a data company rather than a traditional philanthropic foundation. They are the leading platform for school reviews in the U.S., and this scholarship serves as their primary user acquisition cost. Every time a student creates a profile, niche increases its data value, which allows them to fund these massive awards. For you, the student, the historical trend shows that this is a numbers game. Imagine a high school senior named Alex in Columbus, Ohio. Alex has a 3.1 GPA and no major athletic awards. In the traditional scholarship model, Alex is invisible. But for the niche $25,000 award, Alex has the exact same statistical probability of being selected as a valedictorian with a perfect SAT score. The eligibility is intentionally broad. You must be a high school or college student, or planning to enroll in the next 12 months, and you must be a U.S. citizen or hold a valid visa. The deadline for the current cycle is March 31, 2026. This is not a one-time event. Niche has a history of awarding over $280,000 annually. The step-by-step strategy here is profile completeness. While they say it is a random drawing, internal case studies suggest that users with verified email addresses, completed school interest lists, and active review contributions on the platform may see higher engagement from the system's algorithm. Do not just enter and leave. Spend 10 minutes filling out your college list on their site. This signals to their internal database that you are a high-value user, which is exactly what these corporate sponsors are looking for when they select a winner to represent their brand. Moving to scholarship number 2, we have the Be Bold $25,000 No Essay Scholarship hosted on bold.org. As we sit here in March 2026, this scholarship has already awarded over $160,000 to students across the 50 states. This award is unique because it is not a random drawing, in the same way Niche is. Bold.org uses a proprietary boldness metric. When you create your profile, you are given a bold score, based on how much detail you provide about your life, your goals, and your community involvement. Think of this like a LinkedIn profile for students. Let us look at a case study of a past winner, Jordan from Austin, Texas. Jordan did not win because of a high GPA. Jordan won because their profile was boldly optimized. They uploaded a high-quality headshot, linked their social media portfolios where they showcased their volunteer work, and wrote a compelling About Me section that used high-impact keywords related to leadership and resilience. The Be Bold Scholarship favors early applicants. According to their current 2026 guidelines, students who apply during the earlier windows of the monthly rolling cycle are historically given more weight in the final review process. The deadline is March 31, 2026, but the pro tip for this masterclass is to apply within the first 48 hours of a new cycle opening. This demonstrates the earnestness and determination that the Bold Foundation specifically lists as their selection criteria. You are essentially being graded on your ability to take initiative. Now, let us get into scholarship number 3, the scholarship's $360 $10,000 No Essay Scholarship. This is a critical addition to your 2026 portfolio because of its lower barrier to entry. While $25,000 prizes are flashy, they attract millions of clicks. The $10,000 tier on Scholarships 360 often has a slightly smaller applicant pool because the platform is more niche than a giant like the College Board. The deadline is March 31, 2026. This award is open to all grade levels, from high school freshmen to graduate students. The deep dive detail here is the scholarship funnel. To apply for this, you have to create a Scholarships 360 account. Most students stop there. However, the data shows that once you are in their ecosystem, they begin sending you matched scholarships that have even lower competition. Imagine if you spent 1 hour on a Saturday afternoon setting up these 3 accounts. Niche, Bold, and Scholarships 360. You have now entered yourself into $60,000 worth of drawings for 2026 with a combined total effort of maybe 20 minutes. This is what we call front-loading the friction. By doing the hard work of account creation today, you enable a one-click application process for the rest of the year. We must also talk about the Too Cool to Pay for School $1,000 scholarship. This is managed by Access Scholarships and has a deadline of March 31, 2026. While $1,000 might seem small compared to the others, this is a gateway scholarship. It is awarded quarterly. In the world of high-stakes college funding, these smaller recurring awards are the bread and butter of debt-free students. Case studies of scholarship hackers, students who have earned over $100,000 in private aid, show that they often win 5 to 10 of these smaller awards rather than one giant jackpot. The Too Cool to Pay for School award is open to high school juniors, seniors, and current college students. The step-by-step here is to set a recurring calendar alert for the last day of March, June, September, and December. Each quarter is a fresh chance. Wait, let us go deeper into the Sally $2,000 No Essay Scholarship. This is a monthly drawing. Sally, as one of the largest private student loan providers in the U.S., uses this scholarship as a loss leader to attract students to their platform. The deadline for the current month is March 27, 2026. Because this is a monthly award, the cumulative potential outcome is actually $24,000 in annual prize money distributed across 12 different winners. If you are not applying to this every single month, you are leaving money on the table that is specifically earmarked for marketing and outreach. This is a budget item for Sally. They have to give it away to meet their internal corporate social responsibility goals. Why is this important for you right now? Because we are seeing a historical trend in 2026 where the number of students applying for traditional, essay-based academic scholarships is actually decreasing, while the no-essay sector is exploding. However, most students are passive applicants. They apply once and forget. The students who are actually seeing results are systemic applicants. They treat this like a part-time job. Imagine if you treated scholarship applications like a subscription service. Every Monday morning in March 2026, you spend 15 minutes checking for new no-essay additions. This brings us to scholarship number 5, the Appley $1,000 Easy Money Scholarship. This is perhaps the fastest application on the market today. It literally takes less than 2 minutes. The 2026 data indicates that Appley, formerly known as CapEx, selects a winner every single month. There are no GPA or income requirements. It is a pure inclusion award. But here is the open loop you need to be aware of. These no-essay awards are just the top of the pyramid. They are the easiest to apply for, but they have the highest volume of competition. To truly secure your funding for the 2026 to 2027 academic year, you need to know about the low-competition essay scholarships where the prize money is just as high, but the barrier to entry scares off 99% of your peers. In the next part, we are going to look at a specific scholarship that is currently open for March 2026 that requires a very specific 25-word response. That is it. Not an essay but a sentence. This one has a $3,000 prize and a much higher win rate than the big no-essay lotteries. We are also going to reveal the utility company secret that could unlock $5,000 just for living in your current zip code. Turn the page because the real masterclass is about to shift from luck to strategy. Scholarship number 6 moves us into a category that separates the professional applicants from the amateurs, the micro-response scholarship. Right now, on the Scholarships 360 platform, there is a specific award called the Making Waves Scholarship for Women, with a $1,000 prize and a March 31, 2026 deadline. Many students see the word essay and immediately close the tab, but this is a critical mistake in your 2026 funding strategy. This prompt is capped at 250 words. To put that in perspective, that is roughly the length of a long caption on social media. Imagine a student named Sarah in Seattle. Sarah thinks she doesn't have time to write essays because she's balancing AP classes and a part-time job. But Sarah realizes that 250 words is actually just 3 well-constructed paragraphs. By spending 30 minutes drafting a response that highlights her interest in marine biology, or whatever her wave-making passion is, she is entering a pool that is significantly smaller than the no-essay lotteries we just discussed. In the world of scholarships, friction is your best friend. Every additional requirement, like a 250-word limit, acts as a filter that removes the lazy competition. Historical trends suggest that for every 1,000 people who click on a no-essay scholarship, only about 50 will actually complete a 250-word essay. You just increased your statistical probability of success by 20 times just by writing 2 paragraphs. Step by step, the secret to winning these micro awards is the hook value vision framework. In paragraph 1, you hook them with a specific moment of impact. In paragraph 2, you demonstrate the value you've already created in your school or community. In paragraph 3, you explain the vision of how this specific $1,000 will bridge the gap to your next semester. This isn't about being the best writer in America. It's about being the most concise and direct. Scholarships 360 also offers the College Here I Come scholarship for the class of 2026 high school seniors with the same 250-word structure. If you write one high-quality identity essay of 250 words today, you can adapt and reskin that same text for dozens of these micro awards throughout the year. Now let's pivot to the utility company secret I teased earlier, which represents some of the most reliable and highest-paying regional awards in the United States. We are looking at scholarship number 7, the National Grid Charging Our Future, and Electric Worker Scholarships. As of March 2026, these are powerhouses for students in New York and Massachusetts. The Charging Our Future Award is a massive $10,000 annual grant, and the deadline is March 31, 2026. This is where the strategy gets deep. National Grid isn't just giving away money, they are building a talent pipeline. This scholarship is specifically for students pursuing degrees in engineering, with a heavy preference for electrical or power systems. But here is the part most people miss. It is often renewable for up to 4 years. That is a $40,000 potential outcome. Furthermore, the 2026 program includes a paid summer internship. In the current economic climate, A $10,000 check is great, but a paid internship at a major utility company is a career-defining asset. If you don't live in the Northeast, don't tune out because this logic applies to your local area too. Look at scholarship number 8, the American Water Impact Scholarship. American Water operates in states ranging from California to New Jersey, including Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, and Texas. They are offering $10,000 awards for the 2026 to 2027 academic year, with a deadline of March 31, 2026. This award is specifically designed for students majoring in non-medical STEM or business fields. They have a focus on inclusion, targeting first-generation college students or those with a strong record of community service. Think about a character like Maya in Buffalo, New York. Maya is a first-generation student interested in environmental science. She applies for the American Water Scholarship because her family receives a water bill from them every month. Because these scholarships are geographically restricted to the company's service areas, the applicant pool is naturally capped by the census data of those regions. This is the zip code advantage. You aren't competing against the whole country. You are only competing against people who turn on their lights or faucets in the same territory as you. To find these in your area, go to your parents' last utility bill, find the company name, and search that name plus the word scholarship or community impact. Moving rapidly to scholarship number 9, we have to talk about the credit union factor. As of March 17, 2026, we are in a high-stakes window for local financial institution awards. One prime example is the Credit Human Scholarship, which is currently offering 7 awards of $5,000 each. But here is the catch and the opportunity. The deadline is March 18, 2026. That is tomorrow. Credit unions are nonprofit cooperatives, which means they are legally and philosophically motivated to return value to their members. This specific award is for members of Credit Human in Texas, or their children and grandchildren. Imagine if your grandfather in San Antonio has had an account there for 30 years. That simple family connection could qualify you for $5,000. The competition for credit union scholarships is notoriously low because many members don't even realize their bank offers them. Case studies of students in 2026 show that local credit union awards often have the highest return on effort because the eligibility requirements, like being a member for at least 1 year, disqualify the general public. If you aren't a member of a credit union, this is your signal to join one today, so you are eligible for the 2027 cycle. Step by step, you need to check every financial institution your family touches. This includes your car insurance provider, your local bank, and even your cell phone carrier. For example, the T-Mobile Hometown Grants program and similar corporate initiatives often have student-facing components that fly under the radar. The data on these regional and corporate awards is staggering. While the No-SA sweepstakes might have 500,000 entries, a local credit union or utility scholarship might have fewer than 200. If you are applying for the Big 3 on Niche and Bold, you are playing the lottery. If you are applying for the National Grid or Credit Human Awards, you are playing a game of professional networking and local positioning. As we approach the final section of this masterclass, I want to prepare you for the high-yield category that most people think is too weird or specific to bother with. We are talking about scholarships based on physical traits, ancestry, and unconventional hobbies. I'm going to show you a scholarship that is currently open for March 2026 that actually pays you for a hobby you probably already have, and another one that is specifically for people who are descendants of a very specific group of 19th century workers. But first, there is a fundamental shift happening in the essay world that you need to master. In 2026, scholarship committees are using advanced detection to ensure students aren't just copy-pasting generic AI responses. If you want to win that $10,000 American Water grant, your essay needs to sound like a human being with a pulse and a history. I'm going to give you the humanity prompt, a way to structure your story that bypasses the bot filters and hits the emotional core of the reviewers. In the next part, we reveal the duck calling and tall people scholarships that are currently accepting applications and why being unusual is the most profitable financial asset you own. Do not click away, because we are moving into the niche wealth segment of this deep dive. The unusual is often the most overlooked path to funding, because most students are too busy competing for the same general interest awards. When you look at the landscape of American scholarships in 2026, the data shows that the more specific a scholarship is, the higher your statistical probability of selection becomes. We are moving into scholarship number 10, the Tall Club's International Foundation Scholarship. If you are a woman who is at least 5 feet 10 inches tall, or a man who is at least 6 feet 2 inches tall, you have a physical qualification that is a prerequisite for a $1,000 award. While $1,000 may seem modest, consider the applicant pool. You are not competing against the general student body of millions. You are competing only against students who meet a strict height requirement and are entering their first year of higher education. Imagine a student named Marcus in Chicago who stands at 6 feet 5 inches. Marcus spends months stressing over his SAT scores to qualify for a university grant, not realizing that his physical stature already qualifies him for a foundation specifically created to support tall people. The Tall Club's International Foundation has a historical trend of rewarding students who embrace their unique physical traits. The deadline for this cycle is March 31, 2026. To apply, you generally need to reach out to a local TCI member club. This friction of having to find a local contact is exactly why the competition remains low. Most students will see the requirement to find a local club and give up. Step by step, you search the TCI website for your nearest chapter, send a polite introductory email, and request their specific application form. This is a masterclass in navigating niche networks to find quiet capital. Next, we look at the Chick and Sophie Major Memorial Duck Calling Contest. This is perhaps one of the most famous examples of a hobby scholarship in the United States. As of 2026, the first place prize is $5,000. This is not for a 4.0 GPA. This is for your ability to perform 4 distinct duck calls: the hail, the feed, the comeback, and the mating call, in 90 seconds. If you live in a rural area or grew up in a family of hunters, this is a specialized skill that can be monetized for your education. Historical trends show that participants travel from all over the country to Stuttgart, Arkansas, for this event. Even if you don't win first place, there are prizes for second, third, and fourth place ranging from $750 to $2,000. The potential outcome here is that a skill you learned for fun becomes the primary source of your freshman year tuition. But what if you aren't tall and you can't call ducks? This brings us to the Identity and Heritage subsector, specifically the descendants of the 82nd Airborne Division Association Scholarship. This is for students who can prove they are the child or grandchild of a veteran who served in the 82nd Airborne. In 2026, these awards are often valued at $1,500. The documentation required, a D-214 form or membership proof, is a barrier that most students won't bother to hurdle. This is a case study in genealogical research as a financial strategy. If you spend one afternoon talking to your grandparents about their military service or their trade union memberships, you might unlock access to dozens of legacy scholarships that have been sitting in trust funds for decades. Let us look at a character named Chloe in North Carolina. Chloe's grandfather was a paratrooper. By spending 2 hours locating his service records, Chloe qualifies for an award that has an exceptionally high selection rate because the donor pool is restricted by bloodline. This is high probability funding. It is not about how many people apply, it is about whether you are one of the few who actually fits the legal definition of the beneficiary. We must also discuss the Creative Constraint Scholarships. One of the most prominent in 2026 is the Stuck at Prom Scholarship Contest by Duck Brand Duct Tape. This is a $10,000 prize for the best prom outfit made entirely out of duct tape. Imagine the level of effort required to build a tuxedo or a ball gown out of adhesive tape. Because of this massive effort barrier, the number of entries is significantly lower than a standard essay contest. This is a masterclass in high-effort, low-competition tactics. If you have any artistic talent or interest in fashion design, the $10,000 potential outcome for a few weeks of crafting is far superior to the hourly wage of a typical student job. The historical trends for this contest show that the winners often gain national media attention, which can lead to further institutional scholarships from art and design colleges. Moving into the corporate mission sector, we find the Live Moss Scholarship by the Taco Bell Foundation. This is a massive program that has a 2026 goal of awarding millions in total funding. Unlike traditional scholarships, they do not care about your grades or your athletic ability. They want a 2-minute video about your passion. Whether you are a gamer, a coder, a community organizer, or a filmmaker, they want to see your spark. Case studies of winners show that the foundation values authenticity over high-end production. A student named David in Phoenix filmed his 2-minute video on his phone in his backyard talking about his passion for urban gardening. He was awarded $25,000. The step-by-step for the Live Moss Scholarship is simple. Don't overthink the script. Show, don't just tell. If you are a coder, show your screen. If you are a gardener, show your plants. This is an easy scholarship because it allows you to use a medium you are already comfortable with, video, to secure 5-figure funding. As we conclude this segment of the masterclass, you should be noticing a pattern. The easy path is either through high-volume automation for no essay awards or through deep niche specialization for trait and hobby awards. But there is a third category that is even more lucrative and even less competitive than anything we have discussed so far. This is the industry-specific professional scholarship. These are awards given by professional associations for jobs that most people don't even know exist. I'm talking about organizations for underwater welders, flavor chemists, and elevator inspectors. These industries are currently facing a massive labor shortage in 2026, and they are desperate to fund the next generation of professionals. They have multi-million-dollar endowments, and in some years, they struggle to find even 10 qualified applicants. In the next part, we are going to reveal the boring industry secret. I will show you exactly how to find the professional associations for your intended major, and why a thank you note to a local branch manager could be worth $5,000 in 2026. We are also going to look at the emergency grant system, a way to get immediate funding if your financial aid package falls through at the last minute. This is the safety net that every U.S. student needs to have in their back pocket. The deepest part of the dive is coming up next, and it involves a scholarship for people who simply have a creative idea for a new flavor of potato chip. You do not want to miss the flavor of the year grant details. Continue to Part 5 for the industrial scale funding secrets. The boring industry strategy is perhaps the single most effective way to secure 5-figure funding in 2026 without competing against the millions of students on high-traffic platforms like the College Board. When we say boring, we aren't talking about the work itself. We are talking about industries that don't have a glitzy Hollywood presence. I am talking about the organizations that make sure your potato chips have the perfect crunch, your soda has the exact right level of fizz, and your local fire department has the most advanced engineering for their trucks. These industries have massive capital reserves and a desperate need for fresh talent. Let's look at scholarship number 11, the Flavor and Extract Manufacturers Association, FEMA, College Scholarship Program. As we move through March 2026, FEMA is actively looking for the next generation of flavor chemists. Most students have never heard of a flavorist, and that is exactly why this is a high probability target. FEMA offers a scholarship specifically for students who are passionate about the intersection of chemistry and food science. The 2026 application requires a 500-word statement detailing your career goals and how your work might impact the flavor industry. Imagine a student named Tyler in New Jersey. Tyler is a chemistry major who was originally looking at high-competition pharmaceutical grants. By pivoting his narrative to the flavor and extract sector, he is suddenly the big fish in a much smaller pond. The data shows that the flavor industry is a multi-billion-dollar segment of the U.S. economy that is currently undersupplied with qualified graduates. When Tyler writes his 500-word essay about his creative idea for a new organic snack seasoning, he isn't just applying for a check. He is applying for a seat at the table of a major trade association. The deadline for this cycle is rapidly approaching in early 2026, and the potential outcome isn't just the scholarship money. It's the direct connection to member companies that are looking to hire for entry-level scientific roles. Step by step, to win this, you don't need to be a Michelin star chef. You need to demonstrate technical curiosity. If you can explain the science behind why a certain fruit flavor tastes different in a gummy versus a beverage, you have already outpaced 90% of the applicants who submit generic, "I want to help the world" essays. Next is scholarship number 12. The Feeding Tomorrow General Undergraduate Scholarship by the Institute of Food Technologists, IFT. For 2026, this application period is open from January 15th until April 15th. This is a $5,000 award that is often overlooked because students assume it is only for food science majors. In reality, the IFT often supports a broad range of STEM and business disciplines as long as you can show an interest in the food system. Consider the community college pivot. The IFT specifically gives special consideration to students transferring from a community college and to first-generation students. If you are a transfer student in 2026, you are in the strongest possible position to win this $5,000. Historical trends indicate that trade associations like the IFT use these scholarships to diversify their industry. If you can speak to how your background as a first-generation student gives you a unique perspective on food access or agricultural supply chains, You are hitting the exact selection keywords that the 2026 Review Committee is looking for. Now let's look at the industrial safety niche, which is a goldmine for engineering and administration students. Scholarship number 13, the Fire Apparatus Manufacturers Association, FAMA, Scholarship. As of March 2026, the application period for their $5,000 award is open, with a deadline of June 1, 2026. This is specifically for sophomores, juniors, or seniors enrolled in fire protection engineering or fire administration programs. Why is this easy? Because it is a closed-loop scholarship. You must be in a specific accredited program. If you are a student at a school like the University of Maryland or Oklahoma State with a fire protection program, your competition is literally only the people sitting in the desks next to you. Case studies of FAMA winners show that the committee values service interest. If you have a background as a volunteer firefighter or even an interest in the logistics of emergency response, you are the ideal candidate. The historical trend for this award is that it goes to the student who shows the most operational grit. They don't want a poet. They want someone who understands how to make a fire truck pump more water in less time. But what if you aren't in a boring industry major? This is where we move into the safety net segment, the emergency grant system. This is the in case of fire, break glass part of the masterclass. Scholarship number 14 is the Kids Chance of America Emergency Grant Program. For the 2026 to 2027 academic year, the deadline is November 1, 2026. This is specifically for students who have had a parent experience a catastrophic workplace injury or fatality. Imagine if your family's financial situation changed overnight because of a workplace accident. In 2026, the Kids Chance Emergency Grant provides a bridge. This is need-based but circumstance-specific. The data indicates that many eligible students never apply because they don't want to exploit a family tragedy. But these funds are legally and ethically set aside by insurance companies and law firms specifically for this purpose. It is a historical trend of the American legal system to ensure that the children of injured workers can still finish their degrees. Step by step, if you fall into this category, you need to gather 3 things: documentation of the injury, your current tuition statement, and a letter from your school's financial aid office stating your unmet need. Unlike the no-essay lotteries, this is a human-reviewed process. If you provide the paperwork, the probability of receiving support is significantly higher than any competitive merit award. We also have the Howard University Emergency Scholarship Fund, and similar funds at schools like UNLV, NYU, and UCLA. In 2026, these are internal emergency lifelines. These are not found on Google. You have to walk into your financial aid office and ask specifically for retention grants or emergency institutional aid. Case studies show that universities would rather give a student $2,000 to stay in school than lose the $60,000 in future tuition that would go away if that student drops out. This is a business decision for the university. If you have an outstanding balance that is preventing you from registering for the fall 2026 semester, this is your primary target. The secret to all of these industrial and emergency awards is that they require a level of professional maturity. You have to treat the application like a job interview. You are proving that you are a safe bet for their investment. But as we prepare to move into the second half of this 10-part series, we are going to look at the corporate identity shift. In the next part, we are going to reveal the scholarship that actually pays you to be a serial expert. I am going to show you the specific 2026 program from a major breakfast conglomerate that is looking for student ambassadors to receive $5,000 just for creating social media content about their morning routine. We are also going to look at the art of the reskin, how to take that one 500-word essay you wrote for FEMA and turn it into 5 different applications for the baking and beverage industries. The efficiency hacks are about to get real. If you think we've covered the best ones already, you are not ready for the social media influencer scholarships of 2026. Stay tuned because the next segment is where the modern world meets the old money. The next category of funding we are exploring in this 2026 masterclass is where the modern digital economy meets traditional corporate philanthropy. We are moving into the high-growth sector of social media influencer and brand ambassador scholarships. For years, students viewed social media as a distraction from their studies. But in 2026, major U.S. corporations are viewing your social media presence as a primary asset. They are no longer just looking for academic papers. They are looking for authentic content creators who can represent their brand values on campus. Let us look at scholarship number 15, the General Mills Retail Sales Campus Ambassador Program. As of March 2026, General Mills, the giant behind brands like Honey Nut Cheerios, Nature Valley, and Pillsbury, is actively recruiting for its August 2026 through April 2027 cohort. The application window is open right now, with a priority deadline of May 18, 2026. While many categorize this as a campus job, the historical trend shows that it functions as a comprehensive compensated scholarship package. Imagine a student named Leo at the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis. Leo isn't a social media superstar with millions of followers. He is an approachable sophomore who knows how to use his smartphone to tell a story. As a General Mills ambassador, Leo receives a starting pay of $14 per hour, but the value add is much higher. He receives consistent samples of new cereals and snacks to distribute, but more importantly, he gets direct mentorship from corporate recruiting leads and senior leadership. Case studies of past ambassadors show that this role is a preferential pipeline for their high-paying summer internships. In the 2026 landscape, being a cereal expert on your campus, hosting baking contests with Pillsbury dough or breakfast meetups with Cheerios, is a strategic move that pays for your books and positions you for a six-figure career post-graduation. Step by step, to qualify for these ambassador scholarships, your social media doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need to be brand safe. Before you apply in 2026, conduct a digital audit. Remove content that would make a corporate recruiter hesitate, and replace it with micro-vlogs, showing your student life. General Mills specifically looks for out-of-the-box thinkers who can organize events and build relationships. If you can show them a 30-second video of an event you organize for a campus club, you are miles ahead of the competition. But what if you want a straight check without the ambassador work? This brings us to scholarship number 16, the SLS Consulting Emerging Influencer Scholarship. For 2026, this award is valued at $1,000, and the deadline is May 20, 2026. This is open to high school seniors and community college transfer students nationwide. The requirement is remarkably simple, but requires high strategic intent. You must create a 30 to 45-second video explaining how you plan to use your education to address systemic issues like poverty or inequality. Think about a student named Sophia in Miami. Sophia wants to study law to help her community. Instead of writing a dry 3,000-word essay, she records a 40-second reel-style video standing in front of a local community center. She talks about the specific problems she sees every day and how her degree will provide the tools to fix them. The 2026 selection committee at SLS Consulting isn't looking for high-end editing. They are looking for clarity of vision. Now let us combine this with the art of the reskin technique we discussed earlier. If you followed our advice in the previous part and wrote a statement for the FEMA Flavoring Scholarship, you can easily adapt that same content for scholarship number 17, the Star K. White Scholarship. Star K. White is a legendary U.S. flavoring company, and their scholarship for 2026 has a deadline of April 30th. This award is specifically designed for students committed to the confectionery arts. If you already have a passion for baking or food science, you don't need to start from scratch. You take your creative idea for a new potato chip flavor or a chocolate extract, and you pivot it toward the sweets and treats sector. This is how you build an application factory. One core passion, 3 different industrial angles, 3 different scholarship checks. Historical trends in 2026 show that students who batch apply to these flavor and confectionery awards have a significantly higher success rate because the specialized nature of the industry naturally limits the applicant pool. Wait, we also need to talk about the institutional influencer programs. Many universities like Palm Beach State College, PBSC, and Oakland Community College, OCC, have launched their own internal social media scholarships for 2026. PBSC offers a $300 scholarship per semester for their Social Media Student Influencer program. OCC offers a $600 award. These are easy because you are already on campus. You are being paid to do what you are already doing, documenting your life as a student. Imagine if you combined one of these institutional awards with a corporate ambassador role. You could effectively cover your entire semester's incidental costs just by being the face of the college on TikTok. The 2026 data shows that these programs are often undersubscribed because students think they aren't influential enough. But influence in 2026 isn't about follower count. It is about engagement and authenticity. As we move toward the final segments of this deep dive, we have to address the technical high-yield sector. We are going to reveal the scholarship for left-handed students that people think is a myth. It is very real and currently open for 2026. We are also going to look at the automotive passion grants for students who spend their weekends working on cars. If you are a student who knows the difference between a manifold and a muffler, there is a multi-thousand-dollar check waiting for you with a deadline in early April 2026. But there is an open loop I want to leave you with. Some of the biggest scholarships in the US right now aren't based on what you do or who you are. They are based on a single secret sentence buried in the terms and conditions of major retail apps. In the next part, we are going to look at the retail loyalty scholarships, money from the stores where you already shop from Target to Amazon. We will show you how to find the scholarship link hidden in your favorite shopping app. The level of hidden wealth we are about to uncover is going to change how you look at your smartphone forever. Continue to part 7, where we turn your shopping history into tuition credit. We are entering the retail loyalty era of 2026, where the apps on your phone, the ones you use to buy groceries, clothes, and electronics, are secretly hiding some of the largest scholarship endowments in the United States. This is no longer just about earning points for a free coffee. This is about shopping history tuition credit. Most students look at a retailer like Target or Amazon as a place to spend money, but in this part of the masterclass we are going to flip the script and look at them as a source of capital. Let us start with scholarship number 18, the Target Credit Union, also known as BCU 2026 Scholarship Program. As we sit here on March 17, 2026, you are in the final countdown for this award. This program is currently offering scholarships valued up to $10,000 to 30 lucky recipients. The historical trend for credit union scholarships is that they have a very high conversion rate because the eligibility is limited to members or descendants of members. All applicants for the 2026 cycle are scheduled to be notified the week of April 11, 2026. Imagine a student named Tyler in Minneapolis. Tyler's mother has worked at a Target store for 10 years and uses the Target Credit Union for her mortgage. Because of that simple family link, Tyler is eligible to apply for the Leader of Tomorrow Awards, which range from $2,500 to $10,000. The step-by-step here is to check your family's banking history. If any relative has an account with a credit union affiliated with a major retailer, you need to be on their community giving page immediately. These are quiet scholarships because they are rarely indexed on national search engines. They are marketed through monthly billing statements and internal member newsletters. If you aren't checking your email promotions tab for keywords like scholarship or grant from your bank, you are missing out on 5-figure potential outcomes. Moving to scholarship number 19, we have the Amazon Future Engineer Scholarship. For the 2026 academic year, this is one of the most transformative packages in the U.S. It is a $40,000 scholarship, distributed as $10,000 per year, coupled with a guaranteed paid summer internship at Amazon. But here is the masterclass detail that most people miss. The GPA requirement is only 2.3. Think about the psychological barrier this breaks. Most students assume a $40,000 STEM scholarship requires a 4.0 GPA and a perfect math score. Amazon has shifted the historical trend to focus on potential and need, rather than just test scores. If you are a high school senior in 2026 who has taken at least one computer science course, or even if you haven't, but are willing to take an Amazon-provided assessment, you are eligible. Case studies of past winners show that Amazon is looking for students from underserved communities who have grit. They want to see that you can solve problems, not just memorize formulas. Step by step, the application for the next cycle usually opens in late 2026, but the preparation starts now. You need to ensure you are enrolled in a computer science or related STEM course for your final year of high school. If your school doesn't offer one, Amazon provides a free assessment you can take to prove your aptitude. This is the definition of an easy scholarship because the barrier to entry is an aptitude test, rather than a grueling academic resume. Now, let us look at scholarship number 20, the Walmart Dependent Scholarship. If you have a parent or guardian who has worked at Walmart for at least 6 continuous months by the application deadline, you are eligible for $3,250. The deadline for the 2026 cycle is April 1st. That is just 2 weeks away from today. Let us look at a case study of a student named Sarah in rural Arkansas. Sarah's father is a shift lead at the local Walmart. Because he has been there for years, Sarah has access to this internal fund. The historical trend for the Walmart Dependent Scholarship is that it is designed to be accessible. They aren't looking for the next Nobel Prize winner. They are looking to support the families of their associates. If you haven't asked your parents to check their Walmart One associate portal for scholarship links, you are effectively leaving $3,000 on the table. This award is renewable, meaning the potential outcome over 4 years is $13,000. But Walmart goes even deeper with the Live Better You program. If you are a student who needs to work while you study, this is the ultimate tuition hack of 2026. Walmart pays 100% of tuition and books for its associates starting on day one. You can be a part-time associate working 15 hours a week and have your entire degree at a partner university like Southern New Hampshire University or the University of Arkansas fully funded. There is zero obligation to stay at the company after you graduate. Imagine if you took a part-time job at Walmart in March 2026 specifically to unlock a $60,000 degree. That is a strategic financial move that bypasses the need for any traditional scholarship application process. We must also discuss scholarship number 21, the Chick-fil-A Remarkable Future Scholarship. For 2026, they have awarded over $27 million in scholarships. There are 2 tiers, the $1,000 to $2,500 Leadership Awards and the massive $25,000 True Inspiration Scholarship. The step-by-step for Chick-fil-A is all about community service hours. The 2026 Selection Committee places a heavy weight on demonstrated care. If you have spent your weekends volunteering at a local food bank or coaching a youth soccer team, you need to document those hours meticulously. Case studies of the $25,000 winners show a historical trend. They all had a legacy of service in their local town. If you work at Chick-fil-A, your operator or manager has to write a recommendation for you. This means your scholarship strategy starts at your shift. Being the most reliable, positive person on the floor isn't just good for your job. It is a 5-figure investment in your education. Now, here is the hidden link strategy one promised. Many retail apps, from Target to H&M to Sephora, have community or impact sections buried in their settings or bottom navigation bars. In 2026, we are seeing a rise in Flash scholarships. These are small $1,000 grants that are announced via app notifications to loyalty members only. Imagine if you are a member of the H&M Hello Member program. In 2026, the H&M Foundation has been known to run Changemaker challenges where you can win a grant just for submitting an idea for sustainable fashion. To find these, you don't go to a scholarship search engine. You go to the app, click on your profile, and look for member benefits or sustainability. Why do companies do this? Because it increases app stickiness. They want you to keep the app installed and check it frequently. For you, this is a low-competition environment because 99% of users are looking for coupons, not college funding. As we move toward the final parts of this masterclass, we are going to look at the physical and biological scholarships. I'm going to show you the 2026 application for the left-handed scholarship that has been a legend for years. It is real, and I will give you the link. We are also going to dive into the automotive sector. If you know how to change your own oil or if you have a passion for classic cars, there is a specialized fund that is currently open for March 2026 that pays $5,000 with almost zero academic requirements. But first, there is a single secret sentence that you need to include in your retail scholarship essays to signal to corporate donors that you are the right brand fit. In the next part, we reveal the corporate vocabulary that doubles your chances of passing the initial AI screening for these big box store awards. We are moving from shopping for clothes to shopping for a debt-free future. Continue to part 8 for the biological and mechanical niche wins. We are moving from shopping for clothes to shopping for a debt-free future. And this segment is where we dive into the biological and mechanical niche wins. This is the part of the 2026 scholarship landscape where your physical traits and your technical hobbies become high-yield financial assets. We are starting with scholarship number 22, the legendary left-handed scholarship. For years, students have whispered about a scholarship that pays you just for being a southpaw. As of March 2026, this is not a myth. It is a very specific reality at Juniata College in Pennsylvania. We are moving from shopping for clothes to shopping for a debt-free future. And this segment is where we dive into the biological and mechanical niche wins. This is the part of the 2026 scholarship landscape where your physical traits and your technical hobbies become high-yield financial assets. We are starting with scholarship number 22, the legendary left-handed scholarship. For years, Students have whispered about a scholarship that pays you just for being a southpaw. As of March 2026, this is not a myth. It is a very specific reality at Juniata College in Pennsylvania. The Frederick and Mary Frances Beckley Scholarship is a real endowment currently valued between $1,000 and $1,500 per year. The 2026 historical trend for this award is fascinating. It was established in 1979 by a former student who wanted to support fellow left-handers. But here is the masterclass detail you need to know. You don't have to provide a medical certificate of left-handedness. Juniata College identifies eligible students simply by a question on their internal data form. However, because Juniata is a private liberal arts college, this award is institutional, meaning you must be a student there to collect it. Imagine a student named Leo in Philadelphia. Leo is left-handed and is deciding between 3 different colleges. By choosing Juniata, he automatically enters a pool where he is part of a 10% biological minority. This is biological arbitrage. While other students are fighting for general merit aid, Leo is collecting a southpaw bonus simply because of how he holds a pen. If you are left-handed, your 2026 strategy should be to search for institutional niche awards at every college on your list. Many schools have hidden endowments for students with specific last names, students from specific tiny towns, or students with unique physical traits. Now, let us shift to the mechanical sector, which is currently seeing a record-breaking amount of funding in 2026. Scholarship number 23. The University of the Aftermarket Foundation, UAF, Scholarships. As of March 2026, the UAF has announced a staggering $900,000 in total funding for the 2026 to 2027 academic year. The deadline is March 31, 2026. This is the heavyweight of the automotive world. The easy part about the UAF application is the single entry system. By filling out one application at automotivescholarships.com or heavydutyscholarships.com, you are automatically considered for hundreds of different awards from organizations like the ASE Education Foundation, the Specialty Equipment Market Association, SEMA, and major parts manufacturers. Consider a case study of a student named Jax in Detroit. Jack spends his weekends restoring a 1990s truck in his garage. He isn't a valedictorian, but he understands mechanical systems. In his UAF application, Jax doesn't write a dry essay about world peace. He writes about the problem-solving logic he used to fix a transmission. In 2026, the automotive industry is facing a massive labor and engineering shortage. They aren't looking for perfect poets. They are looking for technical aptitude. Jax's passion for his truck becomes a $5,000 potential outcome. Step by step, to win a UAF award in 2026, you need 2 things: a transcript, even if your grades are average, and a mechanical reference. This is where you ask your shop teacher, a local mechanic you know, or even a mentor from a car club to write a short note about your grit and interest. Historical trends show that a strong reference from someone in the industry carries more weight than a 4.0 GPA for these specific funds. We must also talk about scholarship number 24, the SEMA Memorial Scholarships. The deadline for the 2026 cycle is April 3, 2026. This is a $5,000 award for students who are passionate about the specialty equipment market. Think performance parts, racing, and customization. SEMA is one of the most powerful trade associations in the U.S. Their scholarship is open to students in all disciplines, as long as you can show that your career path leads to the automotive industry. Imagine if you are an accounting or IT major. You might think, why would SEMA give me money? Because in 2026, automotive companies need accountants and cybersecurity experts just as much as they need mechanics. If you can frame your potential outcome as being a financial leader in the performance parts sector, you are tapping into a fund that most business students never even look at. Now, let us reveal the corporate vocabulary secret I promised. In 2026, major corporate scholarships from places like Target, Amazon, and SEMA use AI screening tools, like HireVue or Eightfold AI, to filter through thousands of applications. If your essay or video response doesn't contain the selection keywords, a human being may never even see your application. To double your chances in 2026, you must include the 7 power phrases of corporate philanthropy in your writing: scalable community impact, data-driven problem-solving, authentic representation, sustainable growth, cross-functional collaboration, demonstrated resilience, and operational excellence. Let us look at a case study of a student named Mia in Chicago. Mia applied for a corporate retail scholarship and used the phrase, "I really like helping people." She was rejected by the AI filter. The next year, she changed her phrasing to, "I am committed to scalable community impact through operational excellence in local food distribution." That single shift in vocabulary signaled to the AI that Mia understands corporate mission language. It moved her from the discard pile to the top 10% pile. This isn't about being fake. It is about speaking the donor's language. In 2026, donors are looking for a return on investment. They want to see that their money is going to a student who understands how to produce results in a professional environment. But here is the open loop for the next part of this masterclass. Some of the easiest scholarships in the USA right now have nothing to do with your traits, your hobbies, or your vocabulary. They are based on geography and infrastructure. There is a multi-million-dollar fund for 2026 that is only available to people who live within a 10-mile radius of a specific type of industrial facility. We are going to reveal the landfill and power plant scholarships, money that is given to neighbors of major industrial sites as community goodwill. We are also going to look at the public library and local government grants that are gathering dust because nobody checks their town's official website. In the next part, we turn your local map into a treasure map. If you live near a major factory or a municipal waste site, you might be sitting on a geographic scholarship worth thousands. We are turning your local map into a treasure map for the final segment of this 2026 Scholarship Masterclass. If you live near a major factory, a municipal waste site, or a power plant, you are sitting on a geographic scholarship goldmine that most students in your state will never even hear about. These are the Goodwill Scholarships. These are funds established by industrial giants to maintain positive relationships with the residents who live in the shadow of their facilities. In the 2026 landscape, corporate social responsibility is at an all-time high, and these companies are legally and financially incentivized to support the local workforce. Take scholarship number 28, the Waste Management Earth Day and Community Scholarships. As of March 17, 2026, Waste Management is one of the largest waste disposal and environmental services companies in North America. They operate hundreds of landfills and recycling centers across the United States. Many of these specific facilities have host community agreements that require them to fund local education. Imagine a student named Clara in Morrisville, Pennsylvania. Clara lives 3 miles away from a major regional landfill. Because of her zip code, she is eligible for a community scholarship that is only open to residents of that specific township. The historical trend for these awards is a remarkably low applicant pool. In some years, these scholarships receive fewer than 5 applications for a $3,000 prize. That is not a typo, because students are searching on national databases for history scholarships or biology scholarships. They completely overlook the landfill scholarship in their own backyard.